Welcome back. Taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. We got a full board of lines, so let's get it going. We will start with Kirk and Harmer. Kirk, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, Josh.
How you doing?
I'm well, sir. Josh, over the past month, I've heard some of the most outrageously ridiculous statements. The blame on special teams. Oh, it's the kicker's fault. I've heard some super ignorant statements made by people that it's Tomlin's fault. It's all this nitpicking and everything boils down to one person. The reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the predicament they are right now today is Art Rooney III. Pay Bell the money. If we would have had Bell at the beginning of the year, the Steelers right now would be sitting at 14-1 or 13-2. There is no doubt in my mind.
You know what the irony of that call was? He just talked about all the ignorant things that he heard. Is that fair there? Let's break all this down. First of all, it's Art Rooney II, just to be clear. Because I didn't clarify one time on a call and someone killed me for it. So it's Art Rooney II to clarify. Second thing. Le'Veon Bell doesn't play quarterback, does he? Le'Veon Bell doesn't kick, does he? Does Le'Veon Bell play on defense? No, so he wouldn't have been defending Keenan Allen in that game against the Chargers when they had a 16-point lead. So that doesn't count. Le'Veon Bell does not play wide receiver. So there's that. I'm sorry, what role was he supposed to fill other than his own job that he's done the past couple years and really didn't make this team that much better? I mean, they were 13-3. They went to a playoff game. And oh, yeah, that's right. He was late the day before in the walkthrough. So there was that whole thing. Do we forget how much of a headache he was? Or are we just leaving that part out? I understand better talent at the running back position is something that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. But in the context of the things that happened this season, a lot of things happened that had nothing to do with the running back position. And he wouldn't have been able to fix them because the guy who actually replaced him, believe it or not, outside of that second half in Cleveland, that guy did a pretty good job. That guy's going to the Pro Bowl. His name is James Conner. And he's making a fraction of the money they're paying Le'Veon Bell. If you're pointing to the running back position, you sound like all the other people that claim they're just as ignorant that you said prefacing that question. Or maybe I missed something. Let's go to Dave in Bell Vernon. Dave, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yes, I really enjoy, I think you're a very knowledgeable person, and I really enjoy talking to you.
Appreciate that.
I want to ask you, the one thing that's bothering me about the Steelers is I just think Roethlisberger shouldn't have been considered for the MVP. I mean, he's got some fantastic records this year. And it just bothers me that they pass over him so much. He's only got one, I think, MVP.
One question.
From his
one question.
During his long career.
One question.
Yeah.
Does the fact that he's tied for the league in interceptions bother you?
Well, that does kind of bother me. I'll be honest, that does bother me.
That's my only question.
Boy, he got some fantastic records, sir. You know that?
He had some really bad games, too, because Denver didn't help him. Let's start there. There's some instances Denver didn't help him. The first 3.5 quarters of Jacksonville did not help him. The second half against Cleveland did not help him. Here's the thing I'm looking at. And I had this discussion with Gene Collier just a couple days ago, so I don't want to seem like I'm just bringing this out of nowhere to pick on one person. Gene and I literally discussed this on Wednesday. It depends on what your definition of most valuable player is. Is it the guy you can't replace? Then of course it's Ben. We learned that in the second half of the Oakland game, right? Of course it's Ben. Is it the guy who's been the best performer all season long? In which case, should we be looking more at Antonio Brown? Should we be looking more at TJ Watt? Because if we're talking most outstanding performer, maybe TJ Watt deserves a little bit more of a discussion. But if we're talking about, are we talking about the most consistent guy, the guy that's been the best from week 1 up until week 16, knowing that week 17 finishes tomorrow? In which case, shouldn't it be Juju? It really comes down to what your definition of most valuable player is. There's a better way to avoid this discussion. Why is there a team most valuable player award? In the grand scheme of it, who really cares? Does it really matter? I mean, because we're talking about the team most valuable player award. You know what bothers me more personally? Me personally. You know what bothers me more? As good of a career he's had, Ben Roethlisberger does not have a single NFL MVP vote. Not one. In the last 5 years, 5 different quarterbacks have won it. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, and Matt Ryan. And Ben didn't get a single vote in that group. That's what bothers me more. Let's go to Jim in Castle Shannon. Jim, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, can you ask me a question? What was the score of Baltimore and Cleveland when Baltimore beat Cleveland at Baltimore? I mean, when Cleveland beat
Baltimore in Cleveland? Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. You're taxing my brain. I've already spit out a lot of information today.
Yeah, I know you did. But I thought maybe it was like 5 or 6. I don't know. But what I wanted to say is I think the Steelers are going to win tomorrow. It's going to be a close game. I mean, because they're a 14.5-point favorite. Every time they're a big favorite, they never cover.
That's true.
I think it's going to be a close game, and I think definitely Cleveland's going to beat Baltimore because I think Mayfield wants a winning season. You're right. They do have a good defense, and the Steelers have too much talent not to get in the playoffs.
We agree. We agree. Thank you for the call. Say that again, Jared. I'm sorry. Browns won that game in overtime. The first meeting, it was 12-9 in Cleveland. That's what our producer Jared tells me. Shout out to Jared for being on Johnny on the spot. I agree with you wholeheartedly, by the way. One, Steelers have too much talent to not win this game, and Cincinnati has their main guys pretty much not playing, including Burfict, who probably won't play tomorrow. On the other side, I like Cleveland's defense to keep them in the game, and I like Baker Mayfield's attitude as a quarterback. If nothing else, I said this the day he was drafted, and I'm keeping true to this. If nothing else, Baker Mayfield brings an attitude in that team that we're going to win today. And no other organization needs an attitude of we can go out and win more than Cleveland did. And he's provided that. And for the fact that their coach got fired, and then Hugh Jackson went on ESPN after he lost his job and said those players weren't good enough to win. And then with this rookie quarterback, drafted #1 Heisman Trophy winner, started winning games without him, that says a lot about what that team did without Hugh Jackson and maybe even the quality of Baker Mayfield himself. But a lot of it with me, a lot of it's right in between here with him. He has that attitude. He's going to beat you, whether it's football, whether it's ping pong, whether it's shuffleboard, whether you're doing relay races out in the parking lot. Baker Mayfield's going to do everything he can to beat you. And I have that feeling. With a shot at a winning record in Cleveland, which we haven't seen in, almost a decade, he's got a shot to do that. And I think he's going to want to do that, and he'll lay it all out there. Will they do it? We'll have to find out. But I like their chances, if for no other reason, for those reasons alone. Got to take a break. We'll be right back.